A very good evening. You're with us here on Republic, and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva with you. What a Sunday this has been. It started with reports of two explosions at the Jammu Air Base. This specifically is the technical area of the airbase. And as the day progressed, more information started to come out of the real broader contours of this entire blast. Fortunately, no casualties, no damage in one more nefarious design that was planned by Pakistan. But what really today has set the concern up is the fact that drones were used to drop IED at the base. And possibly the hangar here was a real target that again was missed because of wrong coordinates. You're looking at New Delhi in constant touch with the agencies back in Jammu and Kashmir. The NI is on the spot even as we speak. Also the team of the NSG commandos. Everyone piecing together details of what has happened so far. And this has a clear Pakistan role written all over it. So let's bring you up to speed about what has happened so far on the day's Top Focus story.
On the intervening night of 27 June, two drones laden with explosives crashed into Jammu's airbase. The first bomb ripped through a building in Jammu's airbase. Within 5 minutes, another bomb hit an open area near an army installation. The international border is just 14.8 kilometers from the airbase. Following the blasts, security has been beefed up at all key installations and sensitive areas. Shortly after the blast, a team of NIA rushed to the spot to investigate. An FIR has been registered under relevant sections of the Explosive Substances Act and Unlawful Activities Prevention Act.
जम्मू के एयरबेस स्टेशन पर हुए हमले के बाद एनएसजी की टीम्स यहां पर पहुंच रही हैं। बता दें कि छठी एजेंसी होगी ये एनएसजी के कमांडोज जो इस जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसका हिस्सा बनेंगे। गौरव से कहूंगा आपको विजुअल्स यहां पर दिखाएं कि जो टॉप जो कमांडोज हैं इस वक्त एनएसजी के वो यहां पर लगातार पहुंच रहे हैं अपने पूरे इक्विपमेंट्स के साथ। ये लोग यहां पर पहुंचे हैं क्योंकि इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो है इन लोगों को करना है।
The strategic attack on Indian Army's assets in Jammu came just 3 days after Prime Minister Modi successfully chaired a meeting with J&K's leaders, making a roadmap for the Union Territory. With these twin blasts, Pakistan violated a crucial ceasefire accord with India established in the month of February. The attack seems an attempt by Pakistan to repeat the 2016 Pathankot suicide attack where 3 security personnel were martyred. Pakistan is now walking on thin ice as this marks the first drone attack on India's strategic base. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So Pakistan is rattled, we are not surprised. But Pakistan this time using a drone to actually try and target India, an attack that was successfully thwarted. But what really are our big lessons, and will Pakistan continue to live with plausible deniability? I think those and many more questions today go up. As I say good evening to Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the BJP, Major General G.D. Bakshi Saab, who's joining us on the broadcast from Delhi, Group Captain Vinod. He's also a defense analyst live from Trivandrum. Earlier, he explained to us, remember, how the drone works. A lot of people, Mr. Vinod, were really fascinated with that, and I think we'll carry forward that entire discussion. But a lot of important questions today will also go out to our Pakistani panelists here. I also want to say good evening to Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, who's a defense expert on the broadcast from Delhi. Mona Alam is a political analyst. Rana Ihsan Afzal Khan is a leader of the PML, live from Islamabad this evening. And Umar Altaf is a journalist, completing our panel from Islamabad. And I want to go in first to Rana Ihsan Afzal Khan. Mr. Khan, what do you get out of this? I mean, Pakistan is a rogue state. Everyone knows this. Why do you need to prove this to the world again and again? Or you think that people have started to ignore you? So, just go and do something. Why? What do you achieve out of this? Mr. Khan.
First of all, the police has registered an FIR and they're investigating. NSG is also investigating. And no one has yet come to the conclusion that who is behind this. But Republic has concluded the investigation and has announced that it is Pakistan who is responsible for all this, that, the question you should ask is that how come 14 kilometers, according to the public, the drone flew from Pakistan and spent 14 kilometers in India, and your radars could not detect it. No, nothing. Your security could not detect it. No one could detect it, and we reached there. So, I would like to confirm.
So you're saying you reached there? You're admitting that at least.
No,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
No.
I mean, I don't even have to answer that question. What are you doing?
You're giving us this credit or discredit, and we're not ready to take it. So first of all, we need to decide.
But you're taking it. You're taking the credit at least. You're taking the credit for the fact that you did this. That you're trying to cock a snook at our system. That was the idea, is it?
We are not taking any credit. Any attacks across the border are condemned. We don't. We would support peaceful talks, and we would support peace. So we obviously don't support this attack, not at all.
So they want talks. They want talks. I want to get in, Sanju, but then I also want to ask a question to Mr. Khan. Today you're saying that our police has not figured out whether it's Pakistan or not. But are you saying that an Ajmal Kasab did not belong to Pakistan? With the number of dossiers, Mr. Khan, that have gone in again and again and again, that are enough to put you under a table of shame. Are you telling me that evidence is something that you're willing to accept?
Deepti, can I come in?
Prove it. For Ajmal Kasab, we never accepted that he was from Pakistan, and we never received,
Oh my God.
evidence which was good enough to prove that he was from Pakistan. So that is your claim, and you can keep on claiming whatever you wish for, but at the end of the day, it has to be evidence which is accepted internationally on international forums, and none of that was provided at any point in time.
Mr. Khan, Mr. Khan, I think we've seen this. Sanju, a run and a rerun of this again and again and again. I do not think, Pakistan ever sees the light of the day. Mona Alam and Omar Altaf, is that not? I mean, who was behind what happened after, say, its residents earlier? That blast. You staged that blast because you wanted to claim, a victim card at the FATF. Still nothing happened. But Sanju, I'll let you respond, then Mona can come.
Deepti, I think you introduced it very well when you said that Pakistan is a rogue state. And I think the Modi government has on umpteen occasions said that it's not just a rogue state, but it is the mothership of terror. I just want to say that, while these drone attacks overnight have happened, the good bit is that we avoided loss of life, we avoided casualties, and we avoided any major loss to assets, though 2 people have been grievously injured, and our prayers are with them that they should recover soon. Interestingly, drone attacks have not been done for the first time from the Pakistani end. I remember in August 2019, there was a crashed drone from across the border, which was found in Amritsar, and all the telltale evidence led to Pakistan. And then in June and September 2020, once in Kathua, in Jammu and Kashmir, and then once again in Akhnur, in Jammu and Kashmir. We saw 2 spy drones from Pakistan, which were struck down by the valiant Indian Air Force. So the fact of the matter is that Pakistan has been making these attempts every few months, and the most recent incident is that of, Rakesh Pandita, a BJP councillor, being killed in June 2021. This month alone, just a couple of weeks back, and in February 2021, when the son of the owner of Krishna Dhaba, Akash Mehra, was shot down brutally. And do you know what? Who claimed responsibility for the killing of Rakesh Pandita and Akash Mehra? An outfit called Muslim Janbaz Force, which says that it owes its allegiance to Lashkar-e-Taiba, and we know that Lashkar-e-Taiba is basically something which is patronized by the deep state in Pakistan, by the likes of Shah Mahmood Qureshi, by the likes of Qamar Bajwa, and of course by the likes of puppet Prime Minister Imran Khan, who has no say and rakes up issues like 370 and Kashmir every now and then to sort of bring some kind of validation to his tenure, which has been fractious. And the fact
But
that
who's
he
listening
enjoys
to them?
zero support
Sanju,
is not-
unfortunately, no one is listening to them. You know, Mona, is anyone even listening to you? You want to cry horse every time. I do not understand what is your Naya Pakistan. You know, it's become from bad to worse. You can stage, attacks on your own soil because you want to play the victim card, Mona. How far are you willing to go?
Look, this victim card bogey is something that India has been trying to put forth in Pakistan's case just before this FATF meeting was supposed to happen. And you saw rather that the FATF itself conceded. I'm so sorry for our Indian counterparts and for all the propaganda that you've been trying to do since years now in FATF specifically, that the FATF president himself is conceding that Pakistan has done well, exceedingly well.
Mona, please don't come here on the show and put out blatant lies, Mona. This is not the platform for that. We all know your reality. Mona, the hard question that we ask you tonight is,
relax. You don't
Mona,
have to turn hyper.
you have to come back to the hard question today. For how long will Pakistan continue to foment terror? Is there never going to be an end to this, Mona?
Go one-sided with your questionnaire.
No one is listening to you. No one is listening to you.
This false sham has to be called out from your side, from the Indian side, because you have been embarrassed by the FATF.
Do you remember someone called Ajmal Kasab? Do you remember what happened on 26/11? Do you remember Pathankot? Do you remember the Uri attack? Do you remember Balakot?
Of course. We remember everything. We remember everything.
My interest is not to shame you here.
I am assuring you with full authority that these were all false flag operations carried out by the Indian deep state, and this is exactly what has been repeated in this.
Why do you believe everyone is like you? Unfortunately, that's not the truth. Unfortunately, that is not the truth. Fortunately, Mona, let's talk about the drones. Let's talk about the drones that you fancy over and over again. Let's come back to the topic of drones. Our team also has an interesting timeline, Captain Vinod, of the n number of times that drones from Pakistan have been caught, have been shot down when they were trying to drop ammunitions and also narcotics. Mona, learn to listen, please. Mona, please learn to listen. We are a democracy. We give an equal right to everyone to participate and put out their points. You will not sit here and filibuster. That is not what the show is all about. If you have answers, it's fine. Otherwise, you can work out. I could care less. Mona, I want to get in Captain Vinod here. I want to get in Captain Vinod. Captain Vinod, sir. A drone like that, earlier we were discussing the drone. How does it function? An n number of drones, sir, that have come in from Pakistan carrying ammunitions and also the contraband, the drugs, sir. Why don't you hold up an image of that drone? I think you have an interesting model. And then tell me the n number of times we've got Pakistan with these drones, sir.
No, I quickly want to bring people up to speed in the panel about the technology.
Yes.
The program is not only for letting Pakistani voice hear, but it is also for our people who are listening in to understand how this, the entire thing about drone technology, and we discussed about it in our previous show as well. Drones, unlike manned aeroplane, goes from 44 grams, like the one which I'm holding up like here, from 44 grams to few hundred kilos. Those predator class of drones which comes with impunity into Pakistan, into the northern areas of Pakistan, these US drones, and kills Pakistani people, which they allow for some reason, is few hundred kilos. The technology of the drone, ladies and gentlemen, especially Mr. Khan, who talked about radar and stuff like that, the technology of the drone is, how will you pick this up in a radar? Let me ask you this question. The entire drone is small. Now, I can take it to a next level of drone, which is the one probably that has been used from across the border from Pakistan. You don't have to be Einstein to know that it came from across the border from Pakistan. Has got this kind of a powertrain, 4 of them. This is capable of carrying 6 kilos of payload. If I just increase the powertrain to this one, it goes up to 11 to 15 kilos of payload. The entire weight of the drone goes up to 30-35 kilos and has a range of in excess of 40 kilometers. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So we need to understand firstly the technology that is available in this entire drone. The brain of the drone is here. Where is the metal part in this? Apart from just a little bit of a motor which is metal, nothing is metal. So people need to understand that it cannot be picked up on radar. People need to understand the mitigation process for this drone is that it can be picked up only at the last stage and the close-in weapon system only. And why Jammu and why so many contraband coming from across the border? These are you cannot live in denial. And to answer the question to Mona, we look at the big picture. Some few years back, we carved out Bangladesh from East Pakistan, and few years down the road, we are going to carve out Balochistan from your country. And it is going to be left with just the Punjabis of who want to call themselves Pakistan, because even Karachi wants to move away from you. So you understand that the path that you took post 47 is not the path of progress, it is the path of destruction. That your countrymen needs to understand. Your country people need to understand. Pakistan is going out of Pakistan, want to call themselves Indian. Why? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. You can't put a cricketer on top of at the helm of affairs and expect him to do wonders. Usne to puri zindagi cricket kheli hai, aapke liye kya kar lega? That is my question. And coming back to drone, which is the topic of the discussion today, that you look at the drone right behind me. This particular drone, made by a company, carries 6 kgs of payload, which is only 660 millimeters, and there is other than the motors, there is no metal part in it. So and this is an act of cowardice, Deepti, that you chit put aage thoda sa pin prick karke chale jaएं.
But what do you expect from Pakistan? Captain Vinod, what do you expect from Pakistan, sir? And because we have Pakistani panelists, I think it's important to name and shame them. Let's do that on the broadcast. Because there is nothing else. There is nothing else. General Bakshi Saab, that really hurts them. They come on Indian TV channels. 1 second. No, Mona Altaf and Mr. Khan. 1 second. Why are you getting so worked up? Why are you getting so worked up, Mona? Mona, just listen to this timeline. Just listen to this timeline, Mona. Mona, listen to this. Let's also have Mr. Khan on screen if possible, because he was talking about evidence. You were talking about evidence, right? Mona, 1 second. Sitting and ranting here won't help. Omar Altaf, 1 second. See, the Jammu attack happens today, 3 days after the Kashmir raid, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs an all-party meeting. Pulwama attack takes place on the 14th of February 2019. 5 days after a separate Ladakh divisional commissioner is appointed. Mr. Altaf, why don't you listen? Nagrota attack takes place on the 29th of November 2016. Exactly 39 days after the army busts a hideout. The Uri attack, likewise after an all-party meeting without the Hurriyat. Pathankot attack 6 days after Prime Ministers meet with Nawaz Sharif. Mona, do you believe all this is coincidence?
I will only reply if you're willing to listen to me. I don't want to reply to this sham of questions that you're framing here, because you are not willing to listen to anyone's response, except the Indian audience, of course, and the Indian counterparts here. If you are only willing to listen to them, then please listen to them and ask.
Why don't you answer? Why don't you answer?
Don't put up any questions. I will only if you are willing to listen to me. You give me a nod whether
we are listening to you, but if you expose yourself, we will counter you.
I'm sorry you're not. I'm sorry you're not. You don't even let me complete half of a sentence, and your Indian...
So why don't you answer? You're wasting time. Please answer. Is this all coincidence? You get rattled with the peace process in Jammu and Kashmir now.
I will answer. You look your Prime Minister has failed big time. He called upon the APC in terms of Kashmir. He wanted to carry out delimitations so that there may be a Hindu chief minister in the Indian occupied Jammu.
Come on, Mona, this has gone for far too long. You have tried to vitiate the atmosphere. I asked you a question. Do you have an answer to that question or not? Do not deflect the debate, Mona. Do you have an answer to the question or not?
I'm talking about this attack. I'm talking about this false flag attack.
I'm talking about
really
Pakistan.
this attack.
I'm talking about your Naya Pakistan. I'm talking about your failed Prime Minister Imran Khan. I'm talking about your deep state DISI.
I'm Prime Minister in your country as well. Don't call out names to my Prime Minister. I can do the same, but I do not have manners as low as yours, so I will not go to your level.
You will come on, Mona, come on.
So please,
I think we should let them.
This is no good way to debate.
I'll let General G.D. Bakshi respond because you don't have an answer.
You should not.
I have tried that. You have taken over a minute. You have not answered the question.
This is preemptive.
Let General G.D. Bakshi take you. G.D. Bakshi, sir.
I'm all willing to listen to Mr. Bakshi.
Excuse me.
You don't tell us that who you listen to or not.
Thank you so
right?
much. Look.
G.D. Bakshi, sir.
You don't tell me anything.
Hello.
Either. Keep your dictations in your pocket. Keep your dictations in your pocket. You don't tell
G.D.
me
Bakshi,
anything
sir.
Either, right?
Can I please, you see, look, today there has been a significant qualitative escalation by Pakistan employing drones with explosives to carry out attacks, right? Everybody is aware of how drones are being exploited, how they were extensively used in the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict. A new level of the exploitation of drones was seen. Now we saw Pakistan over the last few months employing drones for logistical purposes in terms of dropping arms, ammunition, Indian currency and narcotics to the Pakistani sponsored terrorists here, because they are very hard pressed. They are under a lot of pressure. They have not been getting their weapons, arms and equipment. So Pakistan used these Chinese and Turkish drones to try and drop weapons and revive the terrorist movement, which is on its last legs in Jammu and Kashmir. But today morning, they carried out an attack on an important Air Force base in Jammu. Now, this is a qualitative escalation we will not allow to pass just like that. There will be comebacks, there will be consequences for Pakistan. It will have to pay a heavy price. It will have to pay a heavy price. And let me assure you, you have had warning shots across the bow. We have staged the surgical strikes after Uri. Then we went on and staged the air attack at Balakot, which carried out extensive damage to your terror infrastructure. If this is not adequate, we are prepared to push the envelope to whatever level Pakistan wants to go. You will be taken to that level of pain where you desist, because we will not react defensively now. I think that should be amply clear to Pakistan and to every general in Pakistan. We will not react defensively. We will not be reactive. We will be proactive as we have been in the past. And none of your ded pow, do pow wala nuclear bombs is going to save you from Indian retaliation, which you deserve very justly. You cannot get onto these qualitative escalation. You cannot step onto the escalatory ladder without fear of severe consequences. This has been amply made clear to you many times in the past. If you refuse to learn, I'm sorry, you are going to invite a pain which will soon cross your threshold of tolerance. Indians will not take it lying down. 30 years we have suffered terror quietly, but now we are going to give it back. We are not going to just fight reactively on our soil. We are not just going to carry out point defense. We are going to come back for you. We will hit across the line of control. We will hit across the international border, and you will be deterred from such adventurous missions. They will
And
come
GD
at a
Bakshi
cost.
Sahab, that is what
That's
they
what I
fear.
want to
That
tell
is what they
our
fear, that
Pakistani
India will make
interlocutors.
this expensive. Umar Altaf, you are a journalist. At least you are a neta today. You know, will you want to draw in some sense into what your rogue nation is really up to? I mean, come on, will you do this? Now fly drones and drop IEDs to an Air Force installation?
Now, allow me to respond. I have been patiently listening. I have watched Indian channels today. I've been following news in India. Reasonable defense analysts and veterans who have served in the Indian forces have admitted that the drone was manufactured, assembled, and launched from India. It was launched from Jammu.
Clowns like General Bakshi should smell coffee. They should realize the ground realities. Indian forces have been run ragged in Jammu and Kashmir.
Will you cut out your personal remarks?
Recovered. Your airport
There's this gentleman, he wants to put across
Omar
a point. He
Altaf,
can put
where
across a point.
are you getting your fake news from?
Cut out the
Omar Altaf,
epithets.
where are you getting your fake news from? I must ask you your source of your fake news.
You can watch what General D.S. Huda said, who is a former DGMO of the Indian Army. You can see what General Jaswal is saying. They aren't blaming
What are they
Pakistan.
saying?
They are pointing out Indian failures. They are pointing out Indian failures.
What India needs to do, we will do. But the point is, Omar Altaf, why should Pakistan do this? What do you get out of it?
Was made in India, and you are blaming Pakistan for it. It's
plausible deniability is what you live with. Plausible deniability is what you continue to live with. But I want to get in Wing Commander Praful Bakshi. He hasn't spoken yet. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, sir, why don't you get in some sense into this gentleman called Omar Altaf? He calls himself a journalist, but he trusts fake news, sir. He is not willing to open up his eyes and just look around his rogue state called Pakistan. Wing Commander, sir.
Well, Mr. Altaf, he will not understand. He does not have the age, he does not have the experience. He does not know what happens. He does not know what happened in 1971. He does not know. He does not know. Please keep quiet. Please keep quiet.
At least be courteous. If nothing else, be courteous. Extend that courtesy to him. At least listen to him.
You are not born.
Omar Altaf, why don't you listen to the
understand.
Wing Commander? He's making a point.
You don't
Why are you getting so
understand.
unnerved?
He's a convert. The converts will never understand. He's a convert. His converts will never understand. They are guilty
Wing
of
Commander,
having
sir.
converted. That's why he's like this. Don't force me to speak. Listen to me. Your country got broken up. Your country got broken up into two parts, into top, and thereafter you had to sell yourself with 93,000 people. You could not do anything. You are now you have been sold to China.
Omar
You are selling
Altaf,
yourself to China.
I'll just come in
All
here.
can
If
do
you
is give them
believe what
sweet
you're doing
smiles
is
and nothing else
anything
you can
full of
do.
grace,
And that's
come
all
on.
you can do.
People
General
see
Bajwa
through
is
this.
selling himself
You
up.
call yourself a journalist. I don't know what kind of a journalist you are. You should at least let the gentleman complete his point. That is the least that you can do. Omar Altaf, on a day that you again get exposed, please extend the courtesy to the gentleman. He's making a point. Please don't talk over him. Do not heckle him. Let him speak.
Please understand. Don't get excited. You will understand very well. The democracy has slipped out of your hands. Now only being colonized is staring at your face. You are being sold. Then you are going to be broken into four parts. Now, let's understand, you have still some chance to bring in democracy. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can tell me, you bring in your democracy, we can help you out. We can help you out in getting democracy, and you can actually prosper. And don't sell yourself. You can smile and sell yourself to Chinese and Turkish. You will not get anything. Let me tell you one thing. Your General Bajwa either is going to be shot by his own people or he is going to sell himself. What are you going to do? Your prime minister keeps waiting like a chauffeur in Chinese office. I can keep on doing anything, but you can keep selling yourself off, and that's what you will do. If you are going to do that, if you are going to play like that, you will get the same game. You will get the same game. And let me tell you one thing: being broken, being heads will roll. They are already rolling. They are already rolling. A toy drone which don't worry, we are looking at the audacity of your foolishness, and that's all. Now that you ask for it, you will lose POK, you will lose everything, you will lose Balochistan, you will lose Kashmir, you will lose Sindh, you will lose everything, and then what will you do? You will have your empty Urdu in your hand, which is not your language. So what have you got? Nothing else. Punjabis will dominate you as they are dominating now. I hope you're a Punjabi, so you'll get away with it. Otherwise, I'm sorry.
Battered.
I'm sorry for you. And forget about Air Force. What about your
I think Indian Air Force is no good. You should disband your Air Force.
Your officers are scared of the bell. Your officers and when your officers were caught in Pakistan, they were with women in the thing. Can you beat it? Officer getting captured. An officer getting captured with women in the
Omar Altaf, you are looking so scared. Mona is smiling. Mr. Khan is confused. I do not know what to make of these three expressions that are coming in from our Pakistani panelists. Sanju, just give me 30 seconds. I want to take one quick question, Mr. Khan. Sanju, I'm going to then come back to you. Mr. Khan, sir, because you represent the polity in Pakistan, would you want to get some sense here? I mean, I don't understand, how does it help you by fomenting terror, by killing your own people, by, inflicting pain and terror on your neighbors, by, coming out on shows like this, lying again and again, lying to the world, when everyone sees through you, Mr. Khan? What do you get out of this, sir?
First of all, my suggestion to all of you is that let this investigation conclude. And if you're so worried that, it is Pakistan who is sending these drones, which we are obviously not, then you should update your technology. You should invest into infrastructure where you can, detect these drones beforehand. Because obviously there's a lot of blame throwing happening over here without any evidence. Obviously, the public, you have concluded that it is Pakistan that has, sent these drones.
Why will we drop AK-47 on ourselves? Why will we drop narcotics on ourselves?
Group Captain Vinod is responding to you. Go ahead, Group Captain.
Sir, why will we drop AK-47 on ourselves? What are you saying? I mean, I hope you are using your brain to answer the question. We'll put 2 AK-47s in Punjab and drop it in Punjab. We will take some narcotics from Punjab and drop it in Punjab. What are you talking, sir? I hope you're using your brain to talk. I mean, if you were a panelist and being a neutral panelist for some other country, will you say this? It is, and the other gentleman who talked about few people who in India who apparently tweeted that it was launched from Jammu. Let me tell it very clearly, sir. This kind of drone has got an endurance of say 30 minutes. 30 minutes at 60 kilometers an hour. How much does it travel? At 60 kilometers an hour, how much does it travel? It travels 30 kilometers and it needs to go one way. That means 15 kilometers from inside Pakistan, it can be launched onto us. That is the answer to the question that the other gentleman posed. And there are drones which are more than 60 minutes. You asked a question about radar. What are you talking about radar for this? What are you talking about radar for this? What are you saying radar?
Anymore.
No, you talked about radar, sir. Absolutely. And how did this drone miss the target? Have you asked yourself this question? How did this drone miss the target? It missed the target because we jammed the drone. We have enough and more drone jammers in most of our stations. So if your drones are going to come and hit any of our vital targets, I think you should be getting up and smelling some coffee. Let me tell you very
Mr. Khan is embarrassed. Mr. Khan is embarrassed because the group captain has caught him red-handed on live television. Mr. Khan, you're embarrassed today. You don't have an answer to this.
You need to understand technology. कुछ पढ़ लिख कर क्या आई?
I mean, are you telling me?
You've been caught on the red. You've been caught. You've been caught red-handed with your cookie in the jar.
60 kilometers an hour, 30-minute endurance. कितना दूर जाएगा? Mathematics. 60 divided by 2. 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers. It can go and come back 15 kilometers, or it can launch from 30 kilometers. 14.5 kilometers is the border. As crow flies, you can launch this drone from 15 kilometers. That means behind the front line. And I'll come and hit.
We've just lost that network with Mr. Khan. Let's see if the dear friend Mona is willing to help, because she's also, Yeah, Mona is smiling because she does not know what to say. So the best thing is that you come here, call people names, and get away with hard questions, Group Captain. Is that not? Yes, Mona. Do you have an answer to that question?
I'm not trying to get away with anything. I've only been patiently waiting for this debate to get a little civil, so that I can put across my point.
Patience, gestures, courtesies.
Wow. Fish market.
Those are not words that actually come in from Pakistan.
We are trying to be mathematical.
Mona, come back to the question. You have not answered a single question.
I don't even hear the Indian panelists, to be honest, because I really want to give them a hearing. I really want to know what they have to say. For this drone attack,
30 minutes endurance,
operation,
60 kilometers an hour.
I haven't been able to hear any one of you in this chaos.
Why don't you answer the question, Mona? Don't waste time. We have precious time. Come on, answer the question.
You're the moderator.
Mona,
why don't you answer the question?
In the entire debate.
Half an hour endurance.
Answer the question. We don't have patience anymore with Pakistan. We don't have patience with Pakistan anymore, Mona. No. Enough of it.
Mona, I know you studied mathematics. Have you studied mathematics?
Your own.
You have studied mathematics, am I right? The 60 kmph, Mona, is the least. And 30 minutes endurance, कितना दूर जाएगा बताइए? Please, I implore you, tell me.
You can implore me as much as you like, sir. 30 minutes is a good time. 30 minutes is a good chunk to conduct a healthy debate and to get into a healthy discussion. But I'm sorry, this hasn't been happening since the past 35 minutes that I've been with you.
30 kilometers it can travel.
No way to debate.
You did not say 30 minutes, you said 30 kilometers, Mona. You don't have an answer.
You
don't have an answer.
You're running from one corner to another, trying to put the blame on Pakistan. This is not going to work. At least trust your own agencies who are conducting a transparent inquiry.
Please.
Let them complete this. Please don't try to preempt and jump the gun on Pakistan again and again. Your audience is sick and tired of this.
Why don't you admit for once the truth, Mona? Why don't you admit for once the truth?
I will admit. Why won't I? I will admit whatever you think that I must admit, I will admit. I have no qualms in running.
So you admit you carried out the Mumbai blast? Will you admit that Ajmal Kassab was your man? Will you admit that you disowned him? Will you admit that?
You haven't been able to in all these years. You haven't been able to find out who conducted the
Come on. No point, Group Captain.
Who did the
No point, Group Captain. Let's get it, Sanju. Sanju has been waiting to get into the debate, Mona. Let's bring a Mona versus Sanju fight now. Mona has zero answers. Sanju has a lot of questions. Sanju.
We are into the
our country is a secular country.
Monitoring on Pakistan.
Our country is not like Islamic nation. Our country is a secular country.
Just defend basic common sense.
I will not speak if you don't give me uninterrupted time, Deepti. This is not fair. You make me wait for 40 minutes and then you don't allow me uninterrupted time.
What are you talking about?
I need a minute.
Yes, Sanju versus Mona. Yes, Sanju.
No,
I don't want to be.
I'm not versus anyone. I'm not.
I don't. Can you please allow me to finish? Who's this woman?
Sanju Verma, please.
I don't want to be.
Yes.
I don't want to be Sanju versus Mona because I think Mona is a clown. A clown who comes on Indian television, gets paid to spew venom and then goes back. She knows nothing about international diplomacy. She knows nothing about the fact that Pakistan continues to be on the grey list of action task force.
Not
so
so.
Mona the clown, let me tell you that Pakistan's overall debt
Sanju,
is
Sanju.
$110 billion plus. The
Sanju,
size of your economy
Sanju, I
is
think
$300 billion.
this is a very, very serious issue.
Shameless woman.
There are serious questions that go out tonight to Pakistan, to which neither Mr. Khan nor Mona or Omar wanted to even answer. But what we'll do now, as we are wrapping things on the edition of this debate, I want to give the last final word to General G.D. Bakshi Saab. General G.D. Bakshi Saab, the same story repeats itself, sir, again and again and again. No matter, sir, any amount of evidence, Pakistan lives with plausible deniability. But is it time now? Is it time now to make it very, very expensive for Pakistan?
It is absolutely well beyond that date and time. The simple fact is 3 months ago, Pakistan was begging for a ceasefire on the line of control. We gave it that ceasefire even though we were quite suspicious as to what has suddenly provoked this quest for peace. And true to form, Pakistan has utilized this time to try and push across because they are finding infiltration by land extremely difficult. So they have used Chinese and Turkish drones to try and push across arms consignments, ammunition and narcotics and currency. And today they have crossed a new threshold by trying to employ drones for a failed attack on our Jammu air base. The selection of the target itself and the new mode of attack constitutes a serious escalation which will not go unpunished. We will deter Pakistan. We are determined to deter Pakistan from launching such attacks on our territory and killing our people. We will not take it lying down. We are, the international laws give us the right to hot pursuit and we will exercise those rights. You will have to pay costs. You will have to suffer the consequences. That is all that I will say. I will not yell, I will not scream, but I am just putting it across to you plain, Mr. Altaf. You can put it in your pipe and smoke it, and you can pass it on to your military masters. They are going to get it back. All right? That's what's going to happen, and it is going to shock you.
And this is going to be the new normal. This is going to be the new normal. As I say, thank you to Sanju Verma, General G.D. Bakshi Saab, Group Captain Vinod, Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, Mona Alam, Mr. Khan and Omar Altaf. Thank you. We just hope that the next time we are talking to Pakistan, it is willing to accept some bit of blame for what it does. But remember, we here in India, as we always say, we will not be the aggressor, but we will not take aggression lying down. Republic, remember, is going to be on top of that story as we keep getting you updates. For the moment, thank you to all of you for joining in. Back on the other side with lots more.